real quick, and I feel like this is going to be a super quick answer, but I would love to be wrong. Can men be vulnerable with other men?
100%.
Define
Yes.
vulnerability.
Yes.
Define vulnerability.
Two people in this chat right now know my deepest and darkest secrets. That's how vulnerable I am.
What
person
in this
chat
took
naps on the trains with?
Yeah.
Cuddle it up on the train. Let's go. Yo, you gotta get up.
Yeah,
Hey, what y'all doing right there is the answer. If you have a tight circle of
Classic.
real brothers, you're gonna be vulnerable in front of them. They're gonna know everything about you, and you'll support them and uplift them in hard times and all that stuff. Yeah.
Anytime you wipe that bob off because you just knocked it on the train.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey, you got something right there, right here, right here.
But,
thanks.
but when you say vulnerability, like Days asked, what let's give some examples. What we're talking.
Yeah,
about.
no
looking up
problem.
the definition.
I was prepared to
You
do
guys,
that.
can you do? I'm looking up the definition. You guys do you.
Oh, I was gonna ask if I wanted to go through the definition, but
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, man.
Okay, you got it.
I'm not typing as fast as you, but
I'm hands free. I got nothing in my hands, so you typing faster than me anyhow.
Yeah, while you looking that up, I'll say
ahead,
not only can men have a relationship, be vulnerable around other men, I would go on to say that they should. That it's incredibly important for your growth and development that you have these kinds of relationships with other men. When the only people you're vulnerable with is women, or just you're not vulnerable with anyone, you put yourself in sort of like an abyss. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like stump your own sort of like growth or emotional growth. And, I know sometimes it's hard because, where men are not told to bond with other men in a healthy way so that you could be vulnerable, or men see themselves as an island not needing anything. And so they don't have to like depend on anybody else. But, this is where we can kind of like borrow from women, because women understand how necessary it is to bond with other women in any way possible. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that men need to hold hands and go to the bathroom together, but I am saying that we need to bond in our own unique way. You know what I'm saying? Where we can be vulnerable to each other. We should be able to say I love you to another dude if you really do love him, and not have to say no homo after it. Like that's dumb.
That's annoying. But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's like
Annoying.
you once you say no homo, you just made it homo. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I have a brother. We both came from my mom. I tell him I love him. I don't have to say no homo after that, right? So it's just like, like we as men need to understand the importance of being vulnerable to one another, learning how to trust each other, and so that we can have like trusting, flourishing like relationships. And it helps you in your other relationships as far as with women. When you have dope men in your life that you can be vulnerable with, you can have great relationships with women, and vice versa as far as like women to men.
Well, hold on, Tez. You got the definition, Days?
yeah, I got it.
Go ahead.
It says the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. And I'm glad that they said that, because when I thought about vulnerability, I thought about it in the same sense. Like any form of interaction is vulnerability. You hear what they just said, like exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed. Any form of engagement is a form of vulnerability. Some people think about it as getting deep all the time, like you exposing your deepest, darkest. But me walking down the street and somebody asking me what time it is, and me actually interacting with them at that point, I'm making myself vulnerable, because like they said in the definition, anything can happen at that point in time. You feel what I'm saying? But
In the question, it's yeah. The definition is for both. This question is more about the emotional side. Like, can I tell Dex, hey man, I'm going through some really hard times. I need a person to vent to. You know, such and such happened. You know, I never guessed it would have happened, but man, Nestor smacked the shit out of me today, and I don't. I'm fucked up inside. I need to talk to somebody. I'm opening up and I'm letting my guard down. I'm letting Dex in, and I'm wide open. Dex could be like, "Yo, fuck you. You deserve that shit. Nestor should have been smacked you." And now I'm
yeah,
even more fucked up. Or, you know, because you don't know what's gonna happen, right? Any one of you guys, you could call me, I could call you, and we're open. That's why I said I know the answer, but it would have been fun if somebody was like, "No, men cannot be vulnerable, never." But that's what it is. We've all here.
this is a mature environment. We know
This,
better than that.
right. That's why I was like, I know the answer, but it would be fun if I was
Well,
wrong.
I say yes and I say yes and yes because I was gonna elaborate by saying like it does depend on the relationship, but I'm saying yes because it should be necessary. You understand what I'm saying? It shouldn't be something that society should frown upon. You get what I'm saying? It's something that they try to stray away from. You know, it's kind of it's the uncomfortable, thing to do per se. You know, you got to man up. You got to be tough. You know, this gladiator school. I
Right.
forgot me and somebody was saying that the other day. I was in the gym. We was in the gym playing basketball, and they had like this program that they was doing, and it was a lot of brothers in there. And it was like, yeah, this is gladiator school. But the dope thing about it is that wasn't the energy in the atmosphere. It was a brother energy. Like brothers prayed. That was dope too. We all got together, bowed our heads. Brother had did a prayer, and everybody was in with it. You know, the amens and the ashes. They was in with it. You get what I'm saying? Like you could tell they was paying attention. They was committed. You feel what I'm saying? And that was important. I didn't really know some of these brothers I knew, some of these brothers I didn't. But guess what? They all look like me. You feel what I'm saying? So I understood the assignment.
Right.
Everybody understood the assignment. And we had youth in attendance. So it was kids there as well. So
Nice.
there was examples being set. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, you want to have a safe space. I remember when we worked with the young brothers, we called it a safe space where brothers could, exercise that level of vulnerability with each other and not feel any shame, any guilt. You know what I mean? Any
Yes.
what you call it? Resistance.
Remorse.
You know how sometimes
Resistance.
you ever been there? I'm sorry, say that again, Jay.
No, go. You said the right word.
Resistance. I'm saying because you know how I know I've been there where it's like you tell somebody and then afterwards you feel regret. Like, damn, why did I tell that person that? Or I shouldn't have said that. Or because you felt like you made yourself that vulnerable when you shouldn't have that reaction afterwards. You should be able to open up and because that's what actually brings people closer.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? It definitely brings people closer. Vulnerability is a form of honesty, in a sense.
Absolutely.
Transparency is saying like, I'm showing you who I am. Do you see me? And some people
in my
actually see
truest
you.
form.
Yeah, yeah. And some people see you, and they see you in your truest form.
Right.
You know
Go,
what I mean?
go ahead,
So-
Tez. I know you wanted to weigh in.
I mean, the reason why this is a question, if we want to dive into that, is because, well, right now we can admit that we're in a change of the guard, a way of like upbringing is, right? Because back in the days, fathers or, I didn't have a father for, majority of my younger years. Father, first off, male father figures don't open up to their kids like that. They don't show them that side because they have to be that bravado that we spoke about in our first pod. But also, people without fathers are told like, oh, you're the guy, you're the man in the house, you got to be strong. So you're instilled early on that you can't be weak.
Right.
I resonate again. I love Joe Budden. I resonate with a line so well when he says, "Let me be weak for a minute." And
Facts.
that's real deep to me because you can't be Superman all the time. You can't be saving the world.
Right.
You got to have that time to yourself. And in that time to yourself, that's also dangerous because you're at your weakest. So you got to seek out.
Right.
You got to seek for help and guidance in other people. And it's not because they're better than you. It's because they can relate to you or they can, that they can boost certain things up. And it's okay to be, open in emotion. as long as you have that trust, it's not a vulnerability anymore. You know that it's an extension of hey, I need assistance. I'm in a rut. Let's get this out, or let's pave a road that I can go down to get out of here, and we can, that's in the past. We built on it. We're good, and that's the way I see it.
Okay.
Tez,
I'm
Joe
glad
will be
that
so proud of
Yeah,
you.
go ahead. Go
Joe
ahead.
will be so
Go ahead,
proud of
Ness.
you, Tez. Joey will be so proud of Tez.
I'm glad Dave's brought up like society, and then playing off what Tez was saying. It's funny because I remember hearing a lot about it when I was younger. It's like, hey, as men you have to be stoic and strong and stone faced and this and that and that. But it was never something that I heard in reference to being taught to me. It was always something that I heard like other people talk about, like it's a thing, and it was like, well, that's never been my experience. I've seen it, but it's never been something for me. And then now older, I'm seeing it a lot more from other people where they feel like they can't be vulnerable with anyone, period, because it's been used against them in the past. Those moments of vulnerability have been used against them in the past with where they've supported friends in particular situations, and then when they needed that support, it wasn't there, or when they took those moments to be weak, um, that they were, it was all used against them. And now they're in a position where they're like, well, that's just not, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, and it makes me fucking sad because it's like, yo, you need better friends. Like I've realized, seeing people talk about their friendships like that, I was like, those aren't your friends. Like if those are how you're feeling after interacting with them, like I've realized like the privilege I've had for the friends that I've had throughout my whole life, that I've never had those kinds of experiences. We've had our troubles, we've had our, arguments and tensions, but like it's never been something that I felt like, well, now I can't talk to anybody because this person used my weakness against me. And I it's insane to see people going through that, and feel like that's how they have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
story
they're
of my life. You know what I
they're
mean?
jaded.
Yeah.
Story of my life, bro. I'm the king of getting shitted on. So I have a fake ass radar. You know what I'm saying? I can spot that shit now a mile away because I've had so many motherfuckers like shit on me. You know what I'm saying? That I put in like this position of trust, this position of being vulnerable, telling them, what I do, how I do it, and then, having them like this shit on me. Like, damn, that's why I'm very selective, So yeah, trauma informed. We had this conversation. It's like I'm very like, whoa, I don't really get down with a lot of people. I'm not small circle type dude. I don't try to have a million mofos in my life because of the things that happen to me. So you're
But see,
absolutely right.
that's the other part too, right? Because
Yeah,
you've learned from it in a way where you
Right.
use it, where you still do the things that you need to heal from whatever it is, and you
Yeah.
have those people you can be vulnerable with. And then
Right.
there's people that take it completely in the opposite direction. It's like, oh well, if I'm gonna get shitted on anyway, I'm not gonna open up at all. And it's like that's not the direction you want to go, because
Yeah.
that's not
Well-
exactly better.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
therapeutic language would say if you don't engage again, then you have not healed and you have not let it go or you have not
Right.
gotten over it. You
Right.
have to
Right.
engage again.
Right.
If you
That's
don't
right.
engage, if you don't allow yourself to be open to it, then you're not past it.
Absolutely.
And that's
And so for
that's
me, it's
therapy
like
language.
I'm very selective. You know what I'm saying? Like I put cats through the test. Everyone has to get weighed and measured. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Like you're gonna get weighed, you're gonna get measured. And if I find you wanting, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just not, it's not something I'm just gonna give up
I
because
see niggas
I
at
used
the
to be
weigh-in like this, like
yeah. I used to be, but I used to be that cat that's like, oh man, we all friends and we all this and that, and if I got it, you
Yeah.
got it, and I'm being like with like mad people. Now it's like, oh no, I can't be like that with everybody, because what I realize is everyone hasn't earned that. The type of friend that I am, I'm that Chucky nigga. I'm your friend to the end. You know what I mean? Like I'm a real dude. Like some shit
Default, loyal
happening and
to
we
default.
friends, I'm
Loyal
there
to
for you.
default.
You know? And so it's like I know that's the type of cat that I'm at, that the kind of cat that I am, and that's what I'm kind of like expecting. And a lot of people can't give that. So I know I can't be vulnerable to that person. One of my mentors taught me early is that friendships are spatial. You know what I'm saying? They're spatial. They have a spectrum like everything else. And so
Yep.
every friend ain't gonna be close. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Some people are gonna be like associates way out there, and some people are gonna be somewhere in the middle. You know, and you have to kind of identify who's who, who's really down for you, and know that, and then you know, like I said, I test them. I throw this out there. Let me see what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And if it's like, oh yeah, you flaky, I ain't fucking with you. You know,
Right.
because people be surprised, so they be like, yo, especially. And I'm gonna let it go. But it's like, especially cats who shitted on you, they be like, "What happened? Why we don't do this no more? Why we don't do that no more? Like, are you bugging right now?"
Right.
You know
Like,
what I
nigga,
mean?
that's
Like,
Like a
you.
motherfucker.
That's you.
Gaslighting.
they're like, "Yo,
He's
why you ain't
gaslighting
gonna
like
let
a
me shit on
motherfucker.
you again? Come on,
Right.
man. You know, it's like y'all cats is
You
wild.
used to
So
be doing
nah,
it anyway. You used to
Right.
be doing it anyway. Just let me do it one more time.
One more time.
Yeah, it won't
Let's
hurt.
right,
let Dex chime in.
no doubt. All right.
No, I'm just thinking about. I agree with everybody. I just think I'm glad thank God we're at a time now where there's an understanding that vulner, healthy vulnerability is a part of masculinity. I think we're at a
Yes,
good
Bars.
time
yes,
of that now. Even just the fact that our community, is kind of accepting even therapy now. You know, all this holding in for years and having to be tough and your pent up family problems and not talking to anybody about it, that you can actually do that now. But especially us here in the Man Cave Monday podcast, us men, it's good that masculinity has healthy vulnerability is now part of masculinity. Yeah, you could be courageous, you could be strong, you could be all these things, but you could also be vulnerable to your closest friends. You could say something, you could tell them you love them. I just thought of the example, JD. He said to me the other day, "I appreciate you." And I tell him this. I've told him this before because this is the truth. As a Christian, I told him, "Look, I say your name before God every day." And he doesn't. I don't have to tell him that every day, but I do. I really do. He's my friend, and I love him. So I stand before God for him. That's how I feel. So I love the beauty of good, healthy vulnerability with brothers. You know what I'm saying? Who you could care about. And you don't have to. I don't talk to JD every day, but I pray for him every day, every day. And I told him, and the way I wrote it to him is this way too. I said, "I'm not trying to lie or brag. I'm just telling you the truth. It's the truth. You're my brother. I love you. I didn't even have to say I love you. I said I stand before God for you every day. So you get what I'm saying. I'm teary eyed now, so you get what I'm trying to say. That's my answer.
Yeah.
That's my answer for you. That's what it means to be healthy vulnerability. I could turn to
Facts.
my brother and tell him, stand before God for you every day. I may have not talked to him for a month, but I pray for him every day. I tell him that all the
I think
time because he's my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I think this is the right time to bring up this story. Both of them brothers saved my life. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to you.
Ah.
You did know, but he did like encourage me to dive off the diving board. He
Yeah.
did. And then in the
Somebody
end
who
he had
joined the
to,
podcast later. Somebody,
yes,
Mm.
yes, Tez. And then in the end he had to be the one to save my life.
What did I
Yes.
do?
He encouraged me to light the fire, and in the end, he had to be the one to help me put it out.
Yeah.
You just speaking metaphorically, no. But all jokes aside,
I'm
man, the
so
brothers,
lost.
bro,
He's talking about the pool
bro,
party.
the pool party,
Oh, yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we had to
Yeah,
go and we
man.
saved him.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Tez
yeah.
and Jay saved my life, man. Those
My back was
brothers,
messed
man.
up that night.
I love both of those brothers. Like we joke about it, but I'm telling you, man, I was down there, bro, and I practiced for these days. I was like, one day I might be in the water, I might have to hold my breath till I can't hold it no more. and I did it that day. You feel what I'm saying? Tez just grabbed me right up. I remember he pulled me right up, and the light was like this big. I swear that shit was like this fucking big. I
Nah,
swear to
man.
God.
I mean, we can go on for hours about how we all like appreciate one another here and love one another here. Jonathan and Nestor definitely know how much they mean to me.
Right.
You know, my last like 5 years of life has been just a whirly twirly airplane, and and vice versa. There's been times when, hey, I need to move. Got you.
That's it.
That's it.
Hey,
I
listen.
get,
I need
I
you
give
on
us
this
the-
day. I need a driver. You still got a license, right?
I give him some shit because I'm always the guy who has to move. But other than that, it's not even it's not something to repay. It's not something. It's not a debt. To me. That's what friendships are about. You need something. That's what I got you.
Right.
I got you. That's it. I'm willing to put my life on hold because you and I have that connection. So whatever it is I'm doing, listen, it's got to stop right now. Got to take care of my brother. That's it.
Agreed. Well said. I think this is a good place to end it. And yes, obviously I agree. I think everyone sharing stories already said proof that I agree, but just so the internet has it, yes, men need to be vulnerable with other men. They can, yes, they should, yes. As everyone has shared here, it helps with inner growth, it helps with growth within the community. We need to be more vulnerable with each other. But as everyone is saying, with the men you can trust. If you just go willy nilly trusting everyone and believing everyone is great like Superman does, well, then someone will stab you with kryptonite eventually. But the people you trust,
Someone will kryptonite you.
Nice.
They will kryptonite
you know,
you.
DC bars.
DC bars, superhero raps. You feel what I'm
DC
saying?
bars.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. Jokes aside, you have to be able to do it with people you trust. Everyone here has already said it. Just to, in the words of Dex, I'm just adding to what you guys already said.
Yeah.
I'm just adding on. Every time I rewatch a podcast, Dex says that like the whole podcast. He's like, I totally agree. I'm just adding on to what you guys said. I'm just adding. That was a great point. I'm just adding on.
I'm gonna say the same thing in different words next time.
Right. That's Dex spot. So I'm borrowing your style real quick.
I'm
Another
making
one,
addendums to what was
Right, you know what I'm saying? Right.
the discourse. I'm making
Right,
addendums to the discourse. Bars.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree. People need to be vulnerable, but with the people that they trust. Everyone needs people that they could be vulnerable with for all the reasons everyone said. It helps you. It helps you get, into a better space. It helps you in other relationships. Like Dre said, it'll help other relationships flourish. All the things everyone said, I agree with, and I'm vulnerable with everyone here in this pod in different ways. And everyone here is vulnerable with me in different ways. We've all been through crazy shit together. We've all expressed different things to each other. We've all helped each other in different ways, sometimes not even knowing. Later you get a phone call like, man, yeah, I know you ain't know, but you really helped me out the other day. Like, what are you talking about? I just went with you to the store. Yeah, but you ain't know that 10 people were trying to jump me between my house and that store. Like, oh, I mean, I'm just down to go to the store, and if a fight broke out, well, they'd have been jumping two of us. Fuck it. And so that's it. And so I think this is a good spot to end it. But I wanted to bring up that question because what Nestor said. You hear in society constantly that men should not be vulnerable with other men. Men cannot be vulnerable with other men. And so, yeah, I know my guys. I knew y'all was all going to say yes, but I was just, the Potter in me was like, ooh, for content's sake, it would be just great if one person was like, no, hell no. But yes, we are vulnerable, mature men, and we believe in having the uncomfortable conversations and growing both as an individual and as a
I'm a grown ass man, dog. I'm a grown ass man, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
We all slept on each other's couches one way or another. So.
Well, and also,
yes,
like Jay
Tez,
said,
we have all slept on somebody here's couch. Absolutely.
About somebody said about societal's views, they put negative connotations too. Like, that's why when you said vulnerability, I was like, define vulnerability, because people try to put these negative connotations on it as if like it's it's weird. They like it's somewhat hypersexualized in a sense. A man being vulnerable with another man, they always take it the extra mile.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they overlook brotherhood, like somebody said earlier, which I think was a great point about like women. They understand that bonding, that importance of bonding and building a female tribe. You get what I'm saying? So they can have that support system. They understand that. It's knowingly. They know that. That's why they get hyped when they see each other in a pack. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like this big moment that everybody's been waiting for and everybody's been anticipating. We should be able to have that too. And it shouldn't always be surrounded, like Dre was saying, you was pulling out certain things, you was categorizing certain things, but it shouldn't be around like sports or you know what I mean? The norms, the social
Right.
norms.
Right, right.
Remember, we trying to step outside of society's norms. So it shouldn't be just around the social norms.
Amen.
It should be something where someone could express something that like Jay said, that can help them internally, self-awareness, self-growth. So
That's
I think
right.
this is a great place to end it.
All right, I'm gonna say this, then that's it. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this is for next podcast.
Yes.
We realize that it's important for men to be in these trusting relationships. It's important for men to bond. We realize that women believe it's important for them to do it. But do women believe that it's important for men to bond? Or do women try to break up men who are trying to have these kinds of relationships?
We
can talk about it next time. Leave it in the comments.
We were doing so well.
Leave it in the comments.
We were doing.
Leave it in the comments. Comments about that. We talk about that next month. See?
That's the name of the episode. Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments. All right, we
fire
out of
after
here. Thank you
That
for
definitely
joining
is
us,
short,
and we will
Jay.
be back next month with another episode of Man Cave Monday. Peace out.
Like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Leave it in the comments.